Hi, and welcome to FrazlCast. Climb aboard the GNOME train.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
Please make sure to keep your limbs and experimental instruments inside the train at all times. And now, on with the show.
Hello, Internet. It is Frazley the Awesome Gnome. Each week, I am joined by awesome people from Azeroth and beyond. This is episode 71, Fear of Missing Out, or Pressure to Keep Up. On this episode, I meet up with Michael of the Blue Recluse and Siilverbolt. We talked about Battle for Azeroth, Uldir, Warfronts, the struggle to keep up when life gets in the way. We delved into some Diablo news and more. Let's use my customized ultra-safe transporter to head on over to meet up with this week's guest. I am live from the Smug Harbor Inn with my friends Michael from the Blue Recluse and Siilverbolt.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
It's great to have both of you back.
Good to be back. It's been a while.
It has not been a while for me.
I think like a week or two for you. Siilverbolt, you were doing the in-tour bus and stuff like that, so we couldn't get you back for a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. A lot of other stuff going on, too. The End Tour Bus was a success. A lot of people liked it. I was pretty happy to host it. So we'll see what happens. A lot of stuff's changed my life right now, so time is pretty limited.
Were you the raid lead in that?
Yep.
So it was good experience being a raid lead.
Yes, it was. Definitely. I had a lot of good people in there. There was little to no expectations. I knew we weren't going to go real far, and a lot of the bosses that I knew from experience with what we were raiding with the Rubber Chicken Coalition of Convert to Raid. And so I was off tanking for that with that group, taking my experience from there and taking my gear from there. I figured it was helpful to start bringing some other people through. Like I said, very minimal expectations. I knew the kind of bosses that we would have no problems on, and we pushed. There was some nights that we got a lot more down. It all depends on our power hitters who came that night.
You've started back up the Convert to Shenanigans?
It is. I think we did one night. There was like a last minute thing that I threw together. I think we ran Siege of Orgrimmar. It's going to be maybe once a month as things start to settle back in with the new expansion and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to host more when I can. Real life is really putting a lot of other stuff on hold right now.
Yeah, absolutely. With real life, Epicinsanity, what time is it?
It's time to go around the table.
Great idea. What have you been up to recently?
Well, back in April, I got a job promotion.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So that's been a huge undertaking. However, it's a lot of other stuff has been going on in my personal life that I'm looking to relocate to the East Coast. My job can take me there as well, too. So, but there's some things that need to happen first with my job to sever my ties here to be able to relocate. So that's kind of in the works right now, but looking still about 6 to 8 months out before a lot of like the work things can fall into place. Chainmail, still working on chainmail. Got this beastly bad boy behind me here, which is a commission I should never have taken. But thankfully, the customer is very understanding with the fact that I did get a new job and I work full time. And so my time's very limited. However, he's going to get a pretty badass piece when I'm done with it.
That looks amazing.
Thank you. Little commissions here and there right now just to get those knocked out, get a little extra cash in the pocket. But man, World of Warcraft, whew. I can't get enough, but I just don't have time.
Yes.
So I've been slow to the roll on getting gear and levels on my druid. I've actually been 5-boxing a team of hunters, which has been a lot of fun. I actually rather play them and farm up gold and do crazy stuff like solo dungeons. Well, solo 5-man team. I've only done one so far. I managed to do Waycrest Manor at like 112 with my 5-man team.
Wow,
so
nice.
That was fun. That was interesting, but fun. Because they all have mining and herbalism. Haha, times 5.
Oh, absolutely.
Multi-tap nodes. I had to go do the herbalism quest in Waycrest Manor. So I knocked that out with them. Don't tell the chickens. I almost rather play them right now.
I didn't hear anything.
But yeah, I got my druid. I went into the raid. We did go on Tuesday, opening night. We raid on Tuesday nights. And so I did take my druid in there, but he was like 297. It was deplorable. We did all right. We got down the first boss to about 10%. I mean, granted, he starts at like 60%, but it was really cool. It was really good. And I love the chickens. They're an amazing team. One night a week raiding, really laid back. So it was really, really cool. Right after that raid then, because of all the gold I've kind of stockpiled a little bit, I dropped a bunch of cash on the auction house and got my gear up to 309.
Nice.
When I get some free time this weekend, go knock out some world quests and get myself up to about 320, 330, I hope, before next week, Tuesday. That's been it right now. Just enjoying the heck out of the new expansion. Oh my God, I love all the flavor, everything. I eat the lore up, eat the story up.
And are you still playing the Horde character that you showed me?
Oh, you mean Jane?
Yes.
It's not a girl's name. No, I haven't played him since the opening quests in Darkshore. He's still sitting there. I haven't even taken him through the opening at all to get to the Horde starting city. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think the Horde side of questing is going to be on the back burner till probably late next year. Yeah, there you go. There's Casey in the chat talking about it's like the man they call Jane.
Like a boy named Sue.
The hero Canton.
Did I hear right that you were going to BlizzCon this year?
I am going to BlizzCon. It's been ever since going for the first time last year. It's going to be an every year thing from here on out, for sure. It's really cemented a lot of the emotions and the feelings I get from being a part of the community. Ever since like really digging into the podcasts, all the World of Warcraft podcasts, the bigger podcasts, a lot of the bigger names in it, and just the people who surround them. It's great to be immersed in this community. I love it a lot. And going to BlizzCon just reinforced my decisions. I can't wait to see all those people again and meet see all my friends, get to hang out with them.
Any tips for anybody going to BlizzCon?
Hand sanitizer. Get your flu shot. Drink water. Don't forget to eat. Don't forget to breathe. Bring some tissues. You might cry. I definitely did. That was exciting. Being in the main floor for the opening ceremonies. Oh,
It's crazy, right?
Oh, just the feeling. Oh my God. It's an incredible feeling for sure.
The energy in that room. I remember, I think Thorne said on BNN that it was electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie.
Exactly. I mean, not to mention that it was the announcement of an expansion. It was phenomenal. I mean, who knows what's going to happen this year? Maybe, Diablo 4, who knows? But, we'll definitely see what I think previous years that the off year was the announcement of 8.3. I think they'll probably do the announcement for 8.3, 8.2 maybe. Can't remember quite what the big announcement for World of Warcraft's going to be, because the last year was the announcement for the expansion, and the year before that was 7.3 that we're going to Argus. But we hadn't even seen 7.2 yet. I
kind of agree with the speculation that it probably won't be 8.1 till BlizzCon, because they want to have something big to announce with like Mechanomes and Volpira.
Tinkerer class, yeah, right?
Absolutely.
That'd be cool.
There's the inspection gadget quest in Regard Sound. Everybody should check that out.
There you go. I swear, they really need to expand on the male wearing class.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
Male pirate hats. Could you imagine like a chainmail?
I could probably make a chainmail pirate hat. You get to a certain level, you start to get structural. The tighter your weave you can get actual structure. Probably make a chainmail pirate hat.
I want to see that now.
I don't know how comfortable it would be.
Yeah. My head.
It'd be a challenge I'd be willing to take on as for S's and G's.
How much would that cost?
Easily any bit of 300, if not 4 to 5.
And there goes my BlizzCon money. Oh, okay.
That would be my guess.
But I think Mike would like a pirate hat made out of chainmail.
If I had $300, then yes, of course. But I am so far in the hole right now, it's not even funny. No pirate hats for me. I tried to transmog my character with a pirate hat, and I didn't have one. Even though I did the quest during BFA where they give you a pirate hat while you're questing around, and I was like, can I transmog now and have that? Because I
brought your own hat.
It wouldn't let me do it.
There's a leather one that'll drop, I think, at the end of the pirate dungeon. I can't remember. I've stepped foot in 2 of them, and I don't remember their names. Waycrest Manor is the only one I remember.
It's the only one you need to remember.
The Haunted Mansion.
But better.
So what have you been up to, Michael?
First off, work has kind of been kicking my butt, so I haven't been able to progress as much as I wanted to. I hit 120 within like 3 days of the expansion coming out, and I haven't done much since then, mainly because of work. We just restarted up. So for those who don't know, I work at a school with kids. Pretty much I'm there from like 7 a.m. till 4 o'clock in the afternoon at minimum, and I bike to work. It's about 9.5 miles. I bike there, run around with kids all day, and then bike back. I'm pretty drained. I wanted to gear up. The guild is actually raiding right now. I told them I'm going to be on Frazley's podcast, so I can't raid right now. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not eye level ready. It's okay, I'm lying. It's the fact that I'm not eye level ready. So I was cool with doing the podcast because I need to gear up. I'm going to focus this weekend as well. I'm trying to get up there. We do normal and heroic. Once we hammer out normal, then we'll make the switch to heroic. So I need to get geared up and take care of all that stuff. That's what I'm focusing on now. I am struggling with spec decisions. I play a paladin. When I first rolled my character, I rolled protection paladin. and I enjoyed it a lot. And then once I finally built up the courage to like apply to like to be in a guild and start talking to people, the unfortunate thing came out where like while it was okay to do dungeons as a paladin, the raid already had 2 paladins and they had a couple off tanks as well ready to go. So it was like, hey, you're still more than welcome. You just got to switch. So I switched to Ret during Legion and it was fine. And then I switched again back to Protection Paladin and BFA. I'm like, I want to do Mythic and Mythic Plus dungeons as a Protection Paladin and then raid as possibly a Ret Paladin. The problem is the gearing. It doesn't always switch over the way that you want it, the secondary stats. So the Protection Paladin gear is not transferring very well to a Ret Paladin. So if I raid, I have to raid as a Ret Paladin, but I can't just funnel the gear to my protection spec, which means that if people see me in the raid as a Ret Paladin, it won't really transfer over to Mythic Plus if I want to be the tank.
You have to be geared for your Ret in order to be viable for your guild, for your raid team, right?
Yes, and
even if you were to switch your spec choice to Prot to funnel the gear, you're not gearing up for your raid.
Yeah, so I won't be ready for Heroic if I do that, which means that I'll have to sit out for Heroics because I wanted to funnel the gear towards my protection spec.
You know what the solution is, right?
Find a new guild. No.
There's plenty of room in CTR, right?
Absolutely.
I love my guild, though. They're so good. They're so,
I was going to say, roll another Paladin. Have 2.
I can barely level the character I have now. I don't know how people are able to have alts because I'm struggling with just keeping up with this one. I'm having fun with it. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how to go to that. But aside from that, I'm not restricted to WoW. I've made it very personal where like I don't want to just get absorbed by World of Warcraft. Like when I started playing the game, that was my worry, was that once I start playing it, I'm not going to play anything else. And I'm a huge advocate of playing a bunch of different games because there's so much beautiful content out there in video games. Now, recently, it's just been other Blizzard games. Puzzle Labs was released for Hearthstone. That has been so much fun. It's a breath of fresh air in a game where I couldn't always find my place. I wasn't really big into the competitive scene. I just like to play and do wacky things, so puzzle mode is a great addition to the game. I love playing it, and Heroes of the Storm is my go-to on the side game. Heroes of the Storm is my side chick next to World of Warcraft. When I'm not trying to figure out what's going on with Jana, I'm playing Jana in Heroes of the Storm.
No, in Heroes of the Storm, the best thing is Candy King Magni Bronzebeard on a unicorn mount.
Oh my god.
There are some amazing skins.
What's your choice for character in Heroes?
So Jana is my main character overall. When I went to BlizzCon in 2014, she was revealed there. Like, hey, guess what? Jana's coming to the game. I've always loved Jana since World. Don't care. Jana has always been my thing since Warcraft 3. Like everything about her is I'm on board with. So Jana's my main.
How are you thinking about the whole expansion so far?
I love it. They turned her into what it seemed like a character that was just going to complain about things into a character that was like, okay, I expressed my opinions and you didn't want to listen. And now guess what? I'm still going to go through it my stuff. And if you don't like it, too bad. She's a badass. I love it.
What did you think about her arriving on the battlefield for Lordaeron?
Oh my god, I had goosebumps. I watched it, I was playing it and my girlfriend was sitting on the bed because she wasn't going through it yet. She was watching me go through it and I was like, come on, the cutscene's happening. And then she suddenly showed up and the hairs on my arm literally went up and I'm nerding out to an extreme. I'm looking at my girlfriend look at my arm, look at it. I swear the hairs are coming up. I'm not making it up. It's right here. It's hot in the room, but the hairs are standing right up.
Did you see the music video that they threw together for that?
I have not.
I'll have to link it to you later if somebody can throw it in the chat. If you know the one I'm talking about. I can't remember the name of the song. It was early 80s?
Yes, the Ragnarok one.
Yeah, Ragnarok. Yeah, it was the Ragnarok song. When the song, they're like, wait, what the heck is that? And then she comes rolling in through the cloud and it's just You know which one it is now?
I think so. So, judging by that.
It was beautiful.
But no, it was an amazing moment. And without that, the Alliance would have lost. Right then and there, the Alliance would have lost if she didn't show up. And what a badass way to show up.
Oh, I know.
Just in a flying ship and everyone's like, how could she do that? And I'm like, she's next to Khadgar, possibly the most powerful mage in existence right now. Of course she can make a ship float. And in World of Warcraft lore, regardless of how it's represented in-game, arcane magic is the be-all and end-all in World of Warcraft and Warcraft lore in general. Arcane is the structure of the world, essentially, if you read any of the books. I was all good with that. Other than that, I've been playing phone games casually. I'm part of a podcast called Nerd This, and we talked about mobile games recently. And Tom, one of my co-hosts on there, as well as on the Blue Recluse, got me into a game called Legend of Soulguard. It's like a match 3 strategy type game. It's made by King, the creators of Candy Crush, and it is actually extremely addicting in the best way. I haven't spent any money. One of my co-hosts have. I'm not going to say who, but it might have been Marty. But the game is, for a strategy nerd like myself, I got my start in Blizzard games and StarCraft, and I love this game. I'm so hooked on it.
Have you played Puzzle Quest?
Yes.
I still play that one to this day. I love it because it's an RPG / puzzle matching game.
That's kind of how this one is. Like, you're going through like Norse mythology type stuff. Like, you're going through Midgard and Jotunheim and Niflheim and all those things, which I just finished God of War relatively recently. The new one that was released on PS4, that got me in the zone. So I was like, yes, more Norse stuff, but it's all colorful and it's addicting and it's beautiful and I love it. Other than that, I've been watching Pokemon on Twitch because it's bringing me back to my childhood. And right now they have that marathon going on where they're going through all the seasons of Pokemon. And they haven't gotten to the point where I got lost in the series because I got too old and was like, I'm cooler than this. I don't need to watch Pokemon anymore. Or they changed Ash's voice or something. I was like, that's hashtag not my Ash. But other than that, like, Blizzard games have been taking the forefront. I've been trying to find another game. I beat Doom 2016 relatively recently. So that was like the last game I beat. It's so good that trying to find something to play after it is a little bit daunting, especially when World of Warcraft has so many things. It's ridiculous. Like, I swear to God, I felt like I could take a break in Legion, and right now I feel like I should yell at Frazley for taking me away from the game.
It's always my fault. Well, and I have some bad news for you. Technically, Legend of Soulguard is a Blizzard game because Activision owns King.
Well, there we go. More Blizzard games in my life. I just can't get away, no matter how hard I try.
And if you give money to King, then you're giving money to Activision. Then you're giving money to Blizzard.
That wasn't me. That was Marty. Okay, that was not me.
Marty is thankfully giving money to Activision and Blizzard, so good.
Yes, Marty, his wallet just goes straight there. In some way or another, he's funding everything.
So Marty is a gnome, the banking gnome. He has like this little mustache, and he's just like...
I'm not going to talk about his gnome stuff, okay? That's going to be up to him to defend himself on that one. Not everybody likes being called a gnome, Frazley.
Okay.
I know for you, it's like, it's just normal. You're just like...
I don't know why everyone wouldn't want to be a gnome.
But some people take it offensively. I don't know if you know that.
I'm sorry, Marty. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. He's over the large pond. He can't get to you. You're safe.
When you have a surprise coming on the Blue Recluse this Sunday.
Uh-oh. I don't even know what's going on. I'm like, what surprise? I'm on the show and I don't know.
At the end, the Frazley Report.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still watching Disenchantment and Schitt's Creek. SCHITT, so I did not swear.
Is that like going up Schitt's Creek?
Yeah. The show is like Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara. It's amazing. They act like washed up rich people, but their acting's still great. So I'm enjoying it. It's kind of, they're quick to watch, and I don't feel like I have to invest a ton of time into it. So I'm really enjoying those. OBS devs are amazing. So OBS has kind of gotten the rap sometimes as being like it's free or it's bugged. I'm running OBS every week, and last week I had some issues. I went into the OBS Discord and putting in some bugs into their bug tracker. The bugs got fixed. They have put out like 3 hotfixes this week, and so far OBS is running great. So I just want to say the devs work hard, and for a app that is free is amazing. And this past week I finally got to do something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I got to record the electric slide for Thorn's birthday. So I had told Thorn that I could do the electric slide. I was like, I want to give him proof. So last Friday, I was like, his birthday's coming up. So I took my iPad and recorded it in the hallway. I had a blast.
I saw that. It was good.
I got the moves, or at least I got...
Let's not get too carried away.
Yeah, no cringe. Cringe, like the new millennial word.
I don't even know if they're still saying it. I work at a school, and I don't really hear them say it, but I think for a while that was it. I think that's a Twitch thing.
Okay.
Like, I think that's one of those Twitch things that, like, only people in Twitch say, and they think everyone says it, but then they say it somewhere else outside of Twitch, and everyone's like, what are you talking about?
I like to make my 11-year-old nephew cringe. So, like, when I'm over there, I'd be like, it's every day, bro. And he just, like, his face just, like, you know that? Because he watches Logan Paul, and I'm like,
oh.
I know. I'm like, there are better YouTubers out there. Oh, no, I probably got the Low gang mad at me. So before I get them mad at me, I'm working on story quests and world quests. I forgot we had emissaries again, so
The emissaries are not that great this time around, I feel.
it's rep. It's not equipment. It's not like the chest, but it's still rep. So I figured I might as well do that. And I've been doing the app every time I can, because in Legion, I didn't use the app as much as I should have. So I'm making sure I got a reminder every day.
It's actually it's very simplified for sure. It's not as difficult as it was before to try to figure out who you're supposed to send on those quests for the optimal thing to send. You're talking about doing world quests and working on your emissaries and your rep. The contracts are now they're weekly. So you'd have to refresh your contracts now every week. I don't know if that was a plan in the first place, and they weren't actually weekly previously. They were just permanent, and you just put it on until you're ready to change it, which is kind of like how glyphs were back in the day, where you use it once and you're done. Now it's every week you'll have to reapply your contract. Makes a little bit more money for inscriptionists.
Absolutely. And it's a way to get people to keep playing. I love seeing the No More Gone covert ops. It's great seeing that as being one of the troops.
Oh yeah. Man. I had that quest. I don't know if you've done it yet, Frazley. It was part of the war campaign. And a gnome just gets, exploded.
I hated that one. Darrin, I love you, Darrin, but you have...
He was just walking down the sand dunes.
All right.
And then, boom!
Poor guy.
Once I reached friendly with Champions of Azeroth, I'm trying to put that gnome death out of my mind. I remembered what Spencer Downey of the Starting Zone had said. Magni gives you 15 item levels for your Heart of Azeroth, each rep level. So you go up there and you just turn in a quest. So it's great.
Yeah.
And the Doom Howler world boss. So I go in there first day in Arathi Highlands, attack the boss, and get a 370 chest piece. And someone's like, that's a rare drop. I'm like, it just dropped.
Yep, they're the 370s, and I think you should have gone in with a bonus roll.
I forgot about that. And you now get 2 bonus rolls per week now.
Yes, maximum of 5. It'll take 2.5 weeks to fully get your maximum.
I'm going to have to really try to maximize those, because last year I did not use a lot of bonus rolls in Legion. I'm trying to be a lot smarter on how I approach BFA. It took me halfway into Legion to finally get settled, get my footing, because I started with a level 0 up to 110, and I never felt like I caught up, but now I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the curve.
Oh, okay. You're already there, Frazley?
No, I'm not a note
Or
here.
that guilt that downed it in the first few hours on Heroic?
Yeah, and what's funny is the threads are like, man, BFA was rushed.
No, I disagree with that completely. Just by the amount of content and how solid it feels. If you think about it, it's a pretty solid expansion. In every regard. Obviously, it has some growing to do in certain areas, as every expansion does.
Yeah.
For a start, regardless of what you compare it against, it's on track to be a great expansion.
Legion made a lot of the leaps and bounds to get the groundwork in place for BFA, for sure, and great things going from there. One of the coolest things I think I found so far, in the dungeons, this is the most recent thing I can remember in my mind, is, you're supposed to replay dungeons over and over again. You're going to be running Mythic Pluses, you're going to be running, Heroics up until, Mythic Zeros, you're going to be running them over and over again. The amount of class utilization in many different ways. There are, in one of the dungeons, there was a prison that you can unlock certain of the doors if you have a rogue. If you have a jewel crafter with lockpicks, the inscriptionists have got a scroll of unlocking, so you can unlock those for friendly NPCs to get buffs. In Waycrest Manor, the doors randomize, so the next time you go in there, I love it. Yeah. It's frustrating, but in a good way.
As a tank, I hate that. I want to know my route from the beginning, and this one is no, guess what? You're going to look like a fool at some point.
I'm really feeling the FOMO, really bad, the fear of missing out, or at least the fact I'm struggling with right now that I can't keep up and I won't be able to keep up. It's coming to the acceptance of that. And I kind of did that in the last expansion because I came in right at the end of Nighthold. So I jumped in fresh for Tomb of Sargeras with a raid team, which was cool. It was great. I think that I took last expansion on my own pace because I was playing solo for most of it. And I was usually actually probably at the beginning of the expansion up until, the beginning of the new year that I'm really busy with just life. Moving into October, it's my mom's birthday, my sister's birthday, my birthday. Then you're into Thanksgiving and then you're into Christmas. And it's one thing after another. And even summer too. I'm busy. So then it's not until the beginning of the new year that I really get to relax and play at my own pace and catch up. Not quite to where other people are. And it's coming to terms with and accepting where I am with the game. I don't know necessarily like FOMO, my fear of missing out. I feel pressured to keep up, pressured to want to play, to be better, to be keeping up with everybody else. And it's stressful. It bugs me, to feel that kind of pressure. I mean, on top of personal stuff going on too, that I feel a lot of pressure with my new job and performing in my new job and making sure that I'm giving that the majority of my time and my focus. But I really want to play World of Warcraft and I can't. It's stressful in that I want to raid. I don't want to let my team down. I want to be a tank for them still. I like tanking. I think it's really cool. It's a lot of fun to be that easily identifiable werebear in the team. I think that's pretty cool. And I think it's a lot of fun, but I can't keep up. And it's just coming down to, in my head, I have to accept that. And it's really hard to. That's just what I'm feeling right now. And it's kind of frustrating. Like sitting here right now talking about this, thinking about this, like I almost want to just be like, you know what? I'm just going to take a back seat on this raid tier. I'm going to go play my hunters. I'm going to play when I can play. I'm going to do what I want to do when I can do it. And then I'll jump in on the raid near the end of it. I mean, that's something I have to talk to the raid team and ask them about if they're, going to be opposed to me just jumping in at the end. It's trying to find my stride in the game where I currently am at in my life to get what I want out of the game without it feeling like a second job.
Yeah. And Legion, I was kind of feeling some of the same stuff. Like I had a little bit more time, but I was trying to decide if I wanted to do raiding. I remember one night somebody was like, but you got to play the game and you got to raid. And it's, I know, but I can't fit it into the schedule. Hearing all the things raiders have to do. One, I don't know if I have the dexterity to do it or the math to do it. But that aside, I'm with you. It's that pressure. Like, am I missing out of the game if I'm not raiding? Am I missing out if I'm not one of the top players and I'm just kind of doing transmog runs, doing small quests here and there?
I'm on two sides of the fence here. One side, I completely understand because I also struggle with trying to make the time to play World of Warcraft. And somebody who wants to raid, like I said, my guild is raiding right now and they're raiding tomorrow. And then I'll be in there on Thursday if I'm geared up. But Friday, I have like a work function that I plan on going to. So it's constantly, we feel bad that we're letting people down in game because we want to put our real lives, in a sense, like ahead of that. And it's a real weird feeling sometimes when you're trying to balance the two. Personally, I want to work on speaking to people that I don't normally speak to and going to social settings. Like I'm not always the best in social settings, but I'm not going to get any better unless I get out there and I actually work on it. It's like anything else. It's like a muscle that needs to be trained. So there's a work function and I'm like, I'm just going to come in for one day and then miss the next day after missing the first week. And it's going to make me look bad. I'm not really one of the greatest raiders in the first place. It's a weird feeling. On the other side of the fence, I also feel at the same time, it's a video game. And while it's an amazing game and it has amazing social things to it, I also need to take the time to say like, if I feel like doing something casual within this game and if I'm having fun with it, that's enough for me. I don't care what anybody else says about like, if you're not doing Mythic Plus, then you're not playing the game right. Or if you're not doing this rotation, then you're not doing right. I think it's important to understand that World of Warcraft has been built from the ground up to be something that caters to not just one type of person. There are so many different things to do in the game that if you want to do transmog runs, you might miss out on some story things in game by not doing the raid, but guess what? You could check out these story bits online if you still want to keep up with the story. I don't think any less of somebody who says like, I've never raided and I've been playing since whenever. I'm like, go ahead, whatever works for you.
Yeah, like I really want to see the raids. I really enjoy spending my time with my second family of the rubber chickens. Like I really enjoy that a lot. But if Tuesday nights are my only night to play, I want to go do world quests. I went into Tuesday night's raid at 297 because I hadn't played. I mean, granted, I spent, some of my leveling time playing on my hunters. There's so much stuff I want to do. Like I listen to The Starting Zone. I love that podcast for exactly like this entire point that I'm making, that I don't have time to play. And I love that I can tune into the starting zone and know what the new hot thing that's going on. What do I need to focus on? What should I be? I just keep in the back of my mind what's happening. When I do have time to play, I can go jump and go do that stuff. The co-host talking about how thinking that 3 weeks to raid open was almost not soon enough. He would have rather have seen it in 2 weeks. I'm like, 3 weeks till first raid? I'd rather see the first raid in 2 months, personally. I'm not in college anymore. I can't do this. I just can't play the amount of hours that I used to play. And so that for the raid to come out in 3 weeks, I just like, to me, that's too fast. I can't keep up. It's just something that I'm struggling with. Like, what are my decisions? What do I want to do? Do I just take a back seat and just say, hey, you guys, you know what? I'm not going to be raiding on the cutting edge with you guys. I'll come in at the end. I can't keep up.
And it doesn't have to be a forever thing, because it could be that this is a season and a break in what you're doing, and then you head back in. But yeah, I guess it's working through that pressure, because I mean, I feel the same pressure. I want to be there, and I feel like I'm wasting time sometimes if I'm not raiding. It's because I hear about the raiding. I hear about all this stuff.
Trying to come up with an idea or plan with anything like this here, that maybe even that I, take a back seat right now and just say, hey, you know what? I'll watch you guys on the raid, but I can't stay up that late. I'm not going to join you guys right now. I am going to take my own time. I'm going to do world quests, things like that, whatever, that maybe halfway through this raid, you guys already got it on farm. I'll start jumping in as an alternate so that the main tanks could take a back seat and go and, mess around on their alt or whatever they want to do. It's just a lot of random things, a lot of different options to take from here.
An interesting thing I heard, I was listening to the Countdown to Classics interview with John States, and I will have a link in the show notes to that because it was a great interview. And John was saying how WoW's biggest majority is not the raiders. Their biggest majority is the casuals. It made me kind of think, we see so much attention on the raiding, but that's not the actual players. And I know people who only RP, I know people who are high level. There's even one who finally got 110 at the launch of Battle Frazley. Is it because we're hearing from content creators who have extra time to raid, or that they raid because they have the stuff? I mean, even some of these content creators, they make money from what they do. They don't have to have another job. They can do only WoW. So then their content becomes the main thing. We see the raiding. We don't see the other tasks.
I'm trying to think of how to respond to this, because I completely agree that probably most of the WoW YouTube content creators that we watch, that's the thing that they do. They might not have other jobs, like their full-time job is doing WoW content. And not to take away from that, because the amount of content that they put out, it's not like they're just sitting in front of their computer pushing record and then posting it. Like, they obviously put work into it.
Yeah.
And I love everything, the WoW YouTube community. For me, a lot of it is I learn the game from them.
Same.
I loved the leveling stream I was doing with the bonus level, Casey. That was a lot of fun when we were doing the dungeons and stuff like that. And I really wanted to do it with raid as well too. There's some logistical issues, but to have the point of view we flip-flop back and forth between, the idea would be to flip back and forth between a Guardian Druid tank perspective and a Holy Paladin. It's kind of a neat thing to jump back and forth on that. I want to do that, just back down to time.
Yeah.
The thing that I kind of take into and I take it to heart is Preach Gaming. He's kind of my go-to YouTuber besides Bellular.
Yeah.
And he taught me how to tank. He taught me all these things. But pretty much what he said one time, he was talking about the benefits of joining a guild. And the reason why some people don't join certain guilds is because maybe they feel a sense of loyalty to their current guild or something like that. And he kind of took the approach and was think of the guild as the family that you actually get to choose. In real life, you're stuck with your family regardless. But in a guild, if you feel that family is not holding up the same standards or play style that you want, and they're not facilitating that in a positive way, then you have every right, and you should get out of that and find something that suits your needs. So I always feel if you're with an awesome guild, I feel my guild is awesome. They have not come down on me why aren't you gear ready and blah, blah, blah. We're raiding already. I talked to the guy that's in charge and I was hey, these are what's going on. And he was hey, no problem. It's just releasing. If you want to get in later on, just hit us up, let us know. And you're more than welcome to pop in. We'll help you out along the weekends and stuff to get you geared up. The community in World of Warcraft is huge. There is a place for everyone. You just have to be willing to go out and find it. If you're just looking at trade chat, expecting it to kind of pop up, it's not going to pop up. Okay, you need to actively search for it. So while we all are probably in certain situations sometimes about, I think I should be here, but I'm back here, what's going on? I think that it's important to make sure that you have those around you, especially in this community-driven game, that are supportive of the things that you want to do. It's like real life. If you surround yourself with people that are just going to bring you down, then that's how you're going to feel all the time. Which is why I'm so happy with the guild that I found, because no matter what, even though we're a raiding guild, we only do normal and heroic, and it's completely optional, and nobody is in the chat saying, we didn't have enough people to do this. What is going on in this guild? Everyone is super chill about it, which is awesome.
Well, that's my raid team, the Rubber Chickens were one night a week, very laid back. Now we went down to 3 hours a week, normal. If we get through normal, we'll push some heroic bosses, but there's no pressure at all. If you can't make it, It's fine. No worries. And I'm sure if I were to say something to them that, hey, I just need to take a back burner right now until later into the raid. And it's not because I want to jump in when you guys are easier, when you guys have already got this all on farm. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got everything to do with the fact that I haven't played half the content that's available right now because I have one night a week to play. And if that one night a week is spent raiding, that's not fun. I have fun with those people. I want to, spend the time with people. But again, if I've got one night a week to enjoy World of Warcraft, I want to enjoy the expansion right now.
Yeah.
At my pace. And my pace right now is I want to see the world. Yeah. I don't want to be in a dungeon. I don't want to be in a raid right now. I want to see the world. I want to experience the world.
You want to do the quest leading up to the dungeon before you do the dungeon.
Right, exactly.
And that's one of the reasons why I keep looking in the raid recruitment and CTR, and I keep looking at the different raid teams. I'm like, the nights that these are on are nights that I want to play. The cool thing is I did get the opportunity to raid a few times. Like I got to raid with Echelon. They were sporadic and I was carry. I was fine with that. Echelon was complimenting my playstyle. I was like, I kept dying.
Echelon are amazing folks.
Yes.
And a lot of fun to hang out with too at BlizzCon.
And amazing raid leads. I was amazed at their ability to control Facebowl.
They're great. There's a lot of great people. I jumped in with Tatva, and I can't remember some of the other names that were out there too. And they were pushing up there pretty well too. I mean, they weren't quite Facepol's heroic level, but about normal and a half about what they were pushing and doing. And it was really cool to be running with those kind of, in my mind, elite people within the community. I thought that was really neat as my first experience coming into CTR, into the community. But they were real nice, like everybody. I don't have anything bad to say.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because both of you said names that I know from like listening to podcasts. I'm like the biggest nerd for podcast people. So for me, it's like you're just like mentioning like celebrities all casual. Like to me, like Frazley's like, yeah, Pat Krane gave me some advice earlier, no big deal. And I'm like, the Pat Krane?
Yeah. CTR really changes your life.
I had John Jagger comment on my post the other day on Twitter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh.
I get emails from Ben the Maid.
When I joined the
I went to BlizzCon with them. It was cool.
When I did Blue Recluse,
Mike Moorhan walked by and Casey was like, hey, I love your games. And he's like, hey, thanks.
I met Dustin Browder.
Ooh.
There you go.
As a StarCraft fan, like that was a dream. But when I did the Blue Recluse for the first time, it was a trial to see how I melded with the guys. I remember beforehand, I said something along the lines of, just so you guys know, like I'm a bit nervous because I've been listening to you guys. And to me, like you guys are superstars. I don't care what the numbers are, regardless. Like you guys are just holy moly. Like I can't believe I'm here talking to you guys.
That's always my response. Like I remember Ben and John asked me on Azeroth Roundtable. I was like, me? I mean, because you're the one who has like Kara, you have, I think, even on their Siilverbolt.
I've never been on Azeroth Roundtable.
Okay.
That's some elite stuff there right there, man.
Hey, we talked about pants.
Bonus level in the chat was like, oh, we dropping names now? He said Coltrane yelled his name from the other side of the CTR party. Nothing special,
I only have StarCraft names to talk about, which probably most people don't know unless they play StarCraft or watch it. That's why I went to BlizzCon actually initially, was to watch StarCraft.
Nice.
I didn't even play World of Warcraft. I was there for StarCraft, and I was blown away by the amount of people that played World of Warcraft.
And then you got hooked, and now you can't stop.
Actually, I didn't get hooked until years later.
Oh.
I started listening to podcasts so that I could find more people to play StarCraft with. And I actually came across like all these other Blizzard podcasts. I heard Tom and Marty talking about World of Warcraft all the time. And I was like, God, all they do is talk about World of Warcraft. There's other games. Like, what's going on? Where's all the StarCraft? And they ended up like winning me over, and I questioned them about things. And eventually, like, they're probably the reason that I got into it.
I've always loved World of Warcraft. A lot of my real life friends have dropped out. And so for me to like keep going with the game, I came and went with the game many times over, and I still kept playing. I kept coming back to it, kept wanting to play more of it. But I had no friends to play with, nobody that I can be excited about with. I mean, I have one of my good friends who I could talk to about it, and he'll listen to me, but he doesn't play anymore. So half the stuff I talk about doesn't mean anything to him. So that's when I started listening to the podcast to kind of keep me going with the news and what's happening in World of Warcraft when I couldn't play. And that's where I got to know all the community and all the names, and finally pushed to join CTR and whatnot and go from there. Ever since then, like getting the books for World of Warcraft and just being engrossed in the story. I love it so much. And fun enough, I never played Warcraft 1, 2, or 3 except for on multiplayer. That's it.
If you haven't played it, go back and play Warcraft 3.
Yeah, I need to go back and play because I played Warcraft 3 on LAN, and that was fun. I'm excited for the fact that they're bringing in Warcraft stuff into World of Warcraft, like the Warfronts and stuff like that.
That's going to be cool. What do you think about that? Like, I mean, did you guys play any of it in the beta?
I meant to, and then I got distracted by life and stuff like that.
Where's the Horde at right now on turn-ins?
The last one I saw was like halfway, like 49%.
Okay.
Nihar posted a picture in chat. It was like a comic of like this thing saying like, come on, Horde, you can do it.
So
you can do it.
Tuesday, it's now Thursday, so probably by next week Tuesday they'd be at 100%. Well, over the weekend, they'll probably be done by Sunday. You get to the weekend.
By the time it gets 100%, then we can finally actually do the Warfronts part, because I went in expecting to do the RTS action. I was like, what?
I actually am just waiting for the Horde to get their stuff together and do it so that I can do it. I did all the lead up, and I'm like, come on, hurry up, Horde. I want to actually participate. I want to get some stuff.
Casey, a bonus level in chat. I couldn't remember for the first week the name of Borealis, like on the tip of my tongue. I asked him, like, what the heck is the name of the town, our main town? And he's like, I don't know, Bufu? Like, he's trying to come up with, like, names. And so I'm like, is Borealis the new, like, Bramblesnatch Cumberbunt? Like, trying to come up with names now. So in the chat, he's like, when I asked about where's the Horde at yet on their turn-ins, and he's like, I'm in Burrito, I'll check. And so I just happened to laugh right there because I'm like,
I thought he meant he was making a burrito.
No, he's in Borealis. He's gonna check, so he's talking about Borealis.
It's just a different name every time that starts with a B.
Yep, Borneo or Balloon, Bubbles.
Did you get like a Chipotle burrito?
Oh, I could go for some Chipotle.
I had for dinner, I had a burrito bowl. I took a third of it, so I've got 2 more thirds to go. I kind of, eat on it a little bit.
I devour foods, so it would be fun.
They're so... burrito bowls, you get so much more for your buck with the burrito bowl.
It's better than the burrito, like, just content-wise.
On a side note, you can get the shell on the side for free.
Ooh, nice.
Just ask for a tortilla?
Yep, I'll have a burrito bowl. Can I get the tortilla on the side?
Oh my.
I don't know if that's just our Chipotle.
I also love Qdoba, because Qdoba gives you guacamole for free.
I think Qdoba's overpriced.
Ooh, there you go.
That's why they need to give it to free.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to bring up, there's 2 things happening with Diablo. And I know we're a World of Warcraft podcast, but I like geeky stuff. And Diablo is an interesting game to follow. I love Diablo 3 every once in a while when I get time to play that. There was a comic that was posted for sale on Reddit. The OPM Wars posted how there is a screenshot from the Comics Geek app that lists upcoming comics. And the description is, with a new Blizzard game confirmed by Blizzard, there's never been a better time to go to hell. It didn't say Diablo 4. It's a new Diablo game.
I don't know if that's all in line with the drop of the Switch. Diablo 3 coming to the Switch.
That is true.
There was, I think it was at Gamescom, they had one of the developers and they were talking to them about Diablo stuff, and they were talking about like comics, and they brought up a couple things, and one of his comments were, we have some things Diablo related that have not been released yet, but they're coming soon. And they specifically said that it's a good time to be an ARPG fan. Which is essentially
ARPG?
Action role-playing game. It's essentially what Diablo is.
Okay.
Diablo, Path of Exile, those type of games.
I just saw the dungeon crawlers.
Essentially. That right there automatically sent people saying like, oh my god, Diablo 4 confirmed, which it's not. It's not.
I'm thinking
but
Diablo
it was,
on mobile.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
It was as they were talking about the Switch version, and he made it clear that there was something separate aside from that. Now, like you said, there have been rumors of Diablo 1 going onto mobile, or a whole new Diablo experience happening on the mobile platform. A lot of people are speculating that it's that. Me personally, in my bucket list of wishes, I am hoping for Diablo 4, even just a little thing. Like, even if they say, like, if they pop up a logo and just say, like, it's in development, turn your ears off if you don't want to hear a swear, I will lose my shit. Alright? I am a Diablo fan. I love it so much. And if they say Diablo 4, I'm in.
I have memories burned into my mind of Diablo 2 and back in high school. I have like there's certain like techno house musics buried deep in my files that I've gotten from friends in high school, and if I listen to them, it takes me right back to playing. I had a barbarian and just leaping over everything and charging at stuff and just ripping them to shreds. A lot of fond memories of Diablo 2. And it's funny because I played the game, but I don't remember any of the story at all. Like, it never stuck with me. I played through it,
I've got a lot of games like that I played through, and I can't remember the story.
but I'm banking my votes on a Diablo version for mobile. I'm aiming for that. The way the mobile franchises are going right now, there were those job postings at least over a year ago now for mobile. Granted, you're thinking about mobile platform, maybe if it was over a year ago that they were hiring, if they announced it coming probably mid to late 2019, it would be worthwhile for an announcement at BlizzCon. I mean, I think that would be about the time to announce it for mid to late 2019 of a good two-year process would be my thought. I liked playing, is it Dungeon Hunter?
Yes.
On mobile?
Because that was on mobile and on Vita and PSP.
They're on like Dungeon Hunter 5 now, which has got the stupid pay stuff. And I thought Dungeon Hunter 2 was a lot of fun, but it played well on a mobile device. That would be my thoughts, but a lot of cool stuff coming from Diablo.
Just a quick note, there'll be a link in the show notes, but Alessander also pointed out that Tweaktown had an article about how Activision wants to adapt more IPs as mobile games. Alessander does an amazing job pulling out these articles that tend to be missed everywhere.
Who knows where she finds it?
I know.
Oh my god! Like she's
amazing.
She has magical powers.
I just remember her from the chat rooms of the Hunting Party podcast.
I'm always checking the show notes because they have a show notes blog, and I check it before every show. I'm like, is there some nugget that they have? And that's where they also found that Netflix may be working with Blizzard on a Diablo TV series.
Oh, yes.
So Alessander found this from the Inquirer. They're saying that Hobby News has a report that Andrew Cosby, who was the scriptwriter for
Hellboy,
that they may have been signed on for the Diablo adaptation. Now, what I'm curious about, because I can't find confirmation, is it live action or cinematic? Because the cinematic team at Blizzard kicks butt, but there's also an Activision cinematics team for Skylanders. There is a Skylanders Netflix series that was there back when Skylanders was big. So it could be, I could see Activision tapping that team and saying, hey, we're going to give you Diablo content. If Blizzard would actually want to give up the control of the Diablo franchise to a non-Blizzard team.
The most prominent theory right now is that it will be animation style. And the reason being is that initially nobody thought it would be a thing. But the success of the Castlevania animation that's on Netflix, it actually is coming out with season 2 really soon. It's not the most high quality animation, but it's good and it's visceral and it could lend itself well to Diablo, has started leading to things. Now, there is something to note in that there is another source. I don't know if anybody watches him. He's on YouTube. His name is Riker. He talks about like gaming news and all that. And he did kind of delve deep into where the rumor stems from. And it turns out that there are some things that don't quite add up. That doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but it was just at the source and the things that they kind of put in place were like, these people might not be able to do that because they're currently working on other things. So it might not be 100% credible, but it is a possibility. And the fact that Castlevania took off, because Castlevania was pretty good. I'm answering a comment in chat. I liked it. Yeah, definitely check out that just to get some more information on it. Obviously, like all of this is up to your own opinion on what you think might happen. I hope it does happen. I love me some like neo-gothic horror type stuff. So the more of it, the better. And if it's a Blizzard type thing, as long as it's well written, I'm on board. Would
the cinematics be closer to Warbringers?
I think it would be more along the lines of like those Heroes of the Storm action type stuff. Not like the Hanzo Alexstrasza, but more of like when Jana was the Dreadlord type deal. They did a whole bunch of things where like Jana's a Dreadlord and they did like an animation, like a Saturday morning cartoon type style.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I think it's going to be more something like that.
Yeah, I'd have to look up the Castlevania to get an idea, but like in my mind, I'm picturing a very dark and gritty anime style kind of Diablo show. That's where I would be. Definitely not live action. Definitely not CG. No,
that's too much.
It's got to be dark and gritty, and I can't try to picture in my mind haven't watched a lot of animes to really draw on. I've caught a couple episodes of the Batman Beyond, or one of the Batman shows that's really dark. Like, it's a cartoon, but it's actually like surprisingly pretty dark. I mean, even some of those.
There was a Batman animated one it was a movie, but it was pretty dark. Like Batman, I think, actually killed somebody in one of them.
But yeah, like something even along those lines, like some of those are pushing pretty well. I think it was Batman Beyond. Actually, I think that's the one I'm thinking about, like one of the very few like shows I've actually picked up on and watched here and there.
Oh, okay. Because, I remember there's a movie that is in the same vein as Batman Beyond.
Same universe?
Same universe, yeah. And like I said, there was one where...
Is that Son of Batman?
Batman in the Red Cape. It was
and the Red Hood, under Red Hood or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have that one.
That was really good.
On Blu-ray.
And it wasn't the Christopher Nolan one, because in that one, Batman kills somebody, and Batman's not like, I'm so sorry, I killed somebody. He's like, hey, I killed somebody, I had to.
Oh, actually, I think like in that one, it's like an alternate universe Batman that does it. Hold on, was it that one or was it that Flash movie? There's one where Batman is like, he sees like different, it's like an alternate universe where like the Joker actually turns out to be his mother. Like his mother survived, and Batman is not Bruce, it's actually his father. And his father is like killing people because the wife went mad after Bruce got killed. Like instead, like the alternate universe, we're like way off topic, but the alternate universe is essentially like instead of the parents getting killed, Bruce got killed. Yeah, Flashpoint Paradox. Like that one was a good one. It's a Flash movie, but it's like it's either Flash or it's Justice League type stuff. But
Justice
it's like
League.
Crazy. Like his mother is like the Joker, dad is Batman. He's like grizzled, has an alcohol problem, and actually kills people. Like he's a true vigilante.
Bottom line, it's going to be dark and gritty.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's got to have just that dark edge to the animation for sure.
Yeah.
Where I'm at with what that's going to be like.
And I mean, Blizzard's showing recently, some even their cinematics, they can be pretty dark. I mean, the Ashara one was creepy.
The Ashara one was absolutely amazing.
Yes.
That Warbringer, it almost toppled the Jana one, but I'm like completely biased towards Jana, so don't even take that. Like probably for most people, like
the song won me over with the Jana one.
Yeah,
that too. Like, oh my god, everything about it was so good.
Beware
the Warcraft 3 vibes. Like I play Warcraft 3 campaign a lot, so the Warcraft 3 vibes that I got from it was really good.
And like how downcast Jana looks in the opening cinematics of BFA. Wow, I mean,
when she returns home.
Yeah, just like how downcast we're 3 weeks out, so I don't think I'm spoiling too much.
I escorted her into Borealis as a bear. It was a big werebear. That was awesome.
Have you seen the Reddit post where at the end of a challenge mission is your party shown? One of them, there's like someone's as the werebear, someone has another one, and like this little gnome, and it's like, gee, you really made the gnome look small in that.
That's funny. I definitely love the little in-game cinematics with your character, especially when it keeps the fact that I'm currently in bear form. There's a couple of them that they pop you out and they have your actual character there, which I'm rocking a pretty awesome hat. But yeah, aside from that, it's cool when the cinematic catches my character in the bear form.
Yeah. Thank you both for joining us tonight on FrazlCast. Where can we find you on the interwebs?
Pretty much right now, the only place I'm lurking is on Twitter for the most part, at WorgenBMHunter. Was my previous main, and that's where I'm just kind of going with. You can also find my chainmail work on Facebook at fb.com/Firebird, all one word, followed by chainmail, spelled the easy way, CHAINMAIL. You'll see a big dragon head outfit costume in red and orange. That's my outfit that I wear to the Renaissance Fair. And then every once in a while, you might catch me on a bonus level. It'll be twitch.tv/a bonus level. Every once in a while, I kind of get featured on there on Casey's stream. Nothing planned in the works right now, but hopefully within the next year, we're going to be doing a lot more streaming together on his channel.
And Micah, where can we find you?
So I do 2 other podcasts. I am co-host on the Blue Recluse podcast, which is a Blizzard's game podcast. We talk about all things Blizzard. And I am on a podcast called Nerd This Podcast. And it's pretty much, we talk about all things nerdy. The most recent episode was about our favorite books as kids and how they helped shape us. You can find both of those podcasts as well as some other things that fall under the banner at dragonpoweredstudios.com. That's going to give you links to everything that we do there. So that's probably the best place to go. And if you want to catch us live, we actually do stream the Blue Recluse podcast live on twitch.tv/the Blue Recluse. We record Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. PST or PDT. I forget which one we're in all the time. California time. So 10 a.m. in the morning.
I've been watching the sunset in your apartment there.
Yes, it started off super bright and now it's just slowly going down. So if you want to find me, that's where you can find me, as well as all my co-hosts and stuff that we do over there. I definitely suggest checking out DragonPowerStudios.com.
I'm back at my home of Ironforge until we one day reclaim Gnomergon. Which means it's time for a quick rundown of news. So this week, Uldir, Normal, and Heroic opened up. Mythic and LFR Wing 1 will open up this week, the week of September 11th. LFR Wing 2 will open up the week of September 25th. LFR Wing 3 will open up the week of October 9th. If you're heading into Uldir, Crazy Pick has an Uldir raid strategy guide, and Wildhead has updated their class guide with how to improve and find mistakes in your rotation. And Wildcard Gaming was the first to defeat Cahoon on first day. There's also a strange and very cool Uldir anime parody that I didn't realize I needed until today. So I ran a poll on the FrazlCast Twitter asking if you were going into Uldir and what level you're going in at. 14% said yes on Mythic and Heroic, 35% said yes on Normal, 33% of you said yes on Looking for Group, and 80% said no. I'm hoping to go in on LFG once it opens up. And last week was also the start of Season 1 of Mythic Plus and PvP. So Blizzard has temporarily disabled Season 1 of PvP. I have not seen an update on whether it's back yet. Probably by the time this is out, it'll be back up and running. And they have a list of what item levels you get in Season 1. The world boss, Warbringer Yanaj, I think, in Stormsong Valley is now up. There's also a world boss in the Arathi Highlands called Doom's Howl. I got a level 370 chest piece on the first kill, so there goes my expansion RNG. And just like we've seen a lot, there have been a lot of hotfixes. A last-minute hotfix that came out right before this show recording. There is a dungeon and raid hotfix, so group scaling and Uldir fixes. They've done some Azerite power tuning. In Uldir, Core Hammer of the Guardian was dropping. Apparently this is a transmog weapon. It was never intended to give real stats, but it was giving stats to people, so Blizzard first took it away, but apparently some people were removing their weapons and then discarding the old ones. I mean, I would have done that. If you get a raid level weapon, who wouldn't equip it? Anybody who got it before the new hotfix got the item at the weapon level, and everybody after that will get it at transmog level of 120. Then on September 6th, they've added some PvP hotfixes for different classes. There was also a glitch with Sabertron where once you killed a Sabertron technician, it did not spawn Sabertron, so that has been fixed. I actually experienced that. They've increased spawn rates of like Sethrak. They've been modifying different abilities of classes, and they have been fixing mission glitches like making stealth missions work better on the mission table. There was a bug with Mythic Plus Cash where people were getting an item that they shouldn't have been getting, so Blizzard has fixed that and took the item away. There are quests in the Arathi Highlands that I absolutely recommend you go and do. They're actually pretty easy, and you can get a lot of groups right now, especially with it being fresh. It was not working on alts the first day, but since then, alts can now do these quests as well. You get some really good items in war resources and stuff like that. Like right now, I'm actually stocked up on war resources until I keep doing missions. Icy Veins has a Blue Post roundup, and one of the interesting ones I saw was Good Sir Martin no longer requires the Xavius kill. Blizzard has also posted a clarification on Darkmoon Fair profession skill ups. You can now upgrade your base skill, your non-expansion skills of any profession, but it does not go toward any of the expansion levels. They modify professions in BFA, where you now get like 1 to 100 of classic, and then 1 to 100 of each expansion. And Wildhead has seen that there is a Nazishi Tempest wielder, and they are channeling right now. Wildhead saying, is this like the Serothian Cultist 2.0? It's on the southern coast of Zoldazar, and they are casting Calling the Storm, and right now it ends on September 22nd. Artitude has been kicking butt with their posters, and they have some new ones called Conviction of the Wormbringers. So this is the second set of posters I've seen made by Artitude, and they're really cool. And Blizzard has continued the filters where they now have new World of Warcraft Facebook filters. I took one of myself, and I've got a link in the show notes, but you can click on a link, and then they will send you a notification to then automatically apply it in Facebook, so kind of cool. For the Alliance. And today I saw a tweet from Ro that the Humble Bundle monthly bundle will be including Overwatch. So there are games to be included in this bundle, and they'll be announced closer to October. But for about $12, you can get Overwatch, and you can keep it forever. You get a 10% discount in the Humble store, and they have a library of rotating games, and money goes to charity. So you can get Overwatch from this bundle for $12 and a ton of other games. And I got some very sad news. The Carbine Studios is the developer for WildStar, and they are shutting down. I heard this from Sil of Whispers of War, which is a really cool podcast that has just started back up again. Sadly, with this news, 50 people lost their job, and WildStar has been canceled. I liked what WildStar was doing. I liked some of the different things they were trying. You could tell from the developers that they really cared. check out the WildStar soundtracks. I got a link to Volume 1 and Volume 2 on Spotify. They're really cool. It is sad that these people are going to be losing their jobs, and reminds me of what I heard in the news about City of Heroes closing as well. And right now with Sony, I'm not totally happy with them. They're kind of not wanting to go ahead with crossplay. They're the only console I own, but I have not played them in a little while. And they're not really moving forward and trying to push crossplay. I really think no matter what console you're on, you should be able to have crossplay. It's cool. My nephew plays Fortnite on the computer, plays Fortnite on the Switch, and if they ever got an Xbox One, they could play it there, and all their saves would go over, and you could play with different people. So, Sony, you were doing great at the beginning of the PS4 era. You were for the players. And here is a amazing nostalgia kick. Google Chrome is now 10 years old. I remember when it was starting up, it was a new browser. It was kind of like hey, we're Google, we're going to try a new browser. I think I was in the beta for Google Chrome. I've ended up using it as my main browser. Actually, I'm using it right now while I'm looking at the show notes. It kind of works the best with a lot of stuff. I have Firefox, I have Safari installed because I'm on a Mac. I end up using Chrome the most, and Chrome has a new design, and it has rounded tabs and different things. I like it. I don't mind the new look, and what's cool is kind of you can modify the theme of Chrome, so I got a nice red theme. I know I'm Alliance, but I love the color red. So good job, Google. Again, I use Google Docs, I use Gmail, I use Google Sheets, I use Google Keep. I've got 2 items that are really cool for content creators and soon-to-be content creators. Skype's been rolling out call recording. I was trying to use it today when I was on with a Skype person. We were running into issues and we stopped using call recording. We were both recording on each side, so we were trying to see if call recording was the culprit because we were getting a little lag. But they now have call recording, and apparently it works on Mac and iOS, and Windows 10 will be getting it within the coming weeks. And if you are a content creator working with audio, I highly recommend the iZotope RX plugins. You can start with RX Elements. That's actually where I started. Then I went to RX Standard. Well, RX 7 is coming out. If you buy RX 6 or you upgrade RX 6, you get RX 7 for free. I don't know how long this deal is going to last. If you're looking to get RX, you will get the RX 7 equivalent if you buy the RX 6 right now. So I'm now in RX Advanced, and now I'm looking to upgrade to the RX Post-Production Suite at some point. It wasn't letting me upgrade. I use iZotope plugins on all of my podcasts. You don't need them when you're starting out with content creation, but if you want that extra little push, they're really cool plugins to get in, and they can fix a lot of issues. Well, with Raid started, it is important to stay well fed. My friends Michael Haidt and Mike Levine of Food and Fury Podcast have just the treat for you. Prepare for your well-fed buff with Food and Fury Snackzeroth Edition. Take it away!
It's time to gather your sword and board. Let's enter the kitchen with Food and Fury. 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Food and Fury. This is Snackzeroth Edition, where we deliver you a war-forged snack each week with enough buffs to help you with your battle for Azeroth. Whether you've made roasted boar meat or you've conjured a mage table, we welcome you to Food and Fury. This is Snackzeroth Edition Episode 3. I'm Michael Haidt. Joining me today, the legend, the druid, the PvP machine, Mike Levine. Hello.
Hey, Food fam. Good to have you back. Glad to be back. Let's get rolling.
All right, Mike. So I understand that you are on the other side of the velvet ropes in a VIP lounge known as 120.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's pretty nice over here. When are you going to come over? Check it out, man.
All right. Well, that was my intention. I had an hour set aside to move from 114 on up. And, you can't leave a major city without your Sunday best. So I hop on the old yak attack, get ready to transmog, and I was charged 0. Nada. Nothing. It was completely free. Now, hold on. This can only mean one possible thing. Either my Grummel can't carry any more of my gold, or it must be the trial of style.
That is a lovely story, my friend, with too many olds, but I'm going to assume that you're still 114?
Let's not worry about my alts. Let's worry about this dish. So what do you say, Mike? Let's get our campfire roasting and get into some cooking.
So each week we will be boosting your cooking skill with one recipe for success. You can always find the recipe and more at our website at foodandfury.com.
Mike, I have a special place in my heart when it comes to French fries.
Me too, man. But when it comes to Snackzeroth, I feel we have to bring it. Sometimes you need a little late night snack, and Where we're from, the perfect place is a diner. But French fries are even better when they're covered in cheese and gravy.
Oh, all right. Now you're speaking my language.
They are a party grenade known as disco fries.
You know, they've got the perfect balance between the crunchy crisp outside, the fluffy inside of the French fry, covered in melty, warm, salty mozzarella cheese, doused in a rich, satisfying gravy, where it all comes together in the perfect bite. And it's a balancing act, Mike. Like a range timer, the fries aren't going to resist the gravy forever. So you've got to get in there. You got to keep your fries per second under control so you don't pull aggro with your party. And just like the trial of style, this week we're doing the trial of Canadian style in honor of our friends to the north, where we are transmogging some delicious poutine-inspired gravy fries. Now, whether you call them disco fries or poutine, this gravy train is about to roll.
Okay, Mike, what do we need?
All right, Mike, check it out. You're going to need some cornstarch, some water, some unsalted butter, some all-purpose flour, some beef broth, chicken broth, and some black pepper. You're also going to need to go to the frozen section and pick out your favorite style of French fry. They have, like, the fast food ones. They have the crinkle cut. They even have, like, the steak ones.
And even some waffles.
Ooh, those are good. Last but not least, you're going to head over to the dairy department and pick out your favorite kind of cheese. For this recipe, if you get like the block of mozzarella cheese, you kind of break it up with your hands. That's going to be kind of nice.
Okay, so I got my mats now. How do I put this bad boy together?
So this dish has got two parts. You got the French fry component, you got the gravy side. So get your French fry bag ripped open, throw them on a tray, get the oven preheated, and then throw them in. Now it's time for the gravy. So in a small bowl, you're going to mix together the cornstarch and the water, put that to the side. Grab a small pot, melt the butter, add the flour, start cooking. Mix it up with a whisk for about 5 minutes. If you don't have a whisk, use a fork. Add the beef and chicken broth and bring it to a boil. Start whisking it or mixing it together. Then you're going to take that little sloshy cornstarchy stuff, chuck that in after about 3 to 5 minutes. Make sure it gets nice and thick. Grab your pepper, get it nice and covered in some of that good black peppery goodness. Give it a little taste. Maybe add a little salt. Then all of a sudden it starts to bubble, come together. Your fries just say, beep, 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 I'm ready. You're ready for the love. Get the French fries out of the oven, get your gravy ready, and now it's time to assemble. This is what you're going to do. You take your French fries, you scatter them in a plate. You take that mozzarella cheese and you just rip it apart with your hands. You drop that all over the fries, then grab that gravy because it's time to make some sauce. So that gravy gets poured all over the cheesy fries, and then it starts to melt and come together. Beware the range timer because it's time to eat. You know, buddy, there is normal difficulty, but then there's heroic.
Let's kick it up to heroic. Why one cheese when you could have two? Sprinkle a little Monterey Jack on there, little fresh ground pepper, and boom.
But you know what? We can't just stop at heroic because some people are going to be going mythic. If you want to go mythic, you got to do a little searching. You got to do a little soul searching, a little finding. You got to do farming for some mats and get your hands on some white cheddar cheese curds. Now, Pat Krane gave us a little insight, and he told us cheese curds are only better when they're a little squeaky. So get yourself some squeaky cheese curds, put that in place of the other cheese, and when you pour that gravy on, it's going to be some Canadian, melty, transmoggy goodness. And they're so good that you can keep eating until all the fries are gone in your plate. And when they're gone, tilt the plate up sideways, grab a fork and scrape up the last bit of that gravy and that cheese and put it in your mouth. And if you look up and everyone wipes,
don't worry about dying because that's what reses are for.
That's what reses are for. All right, my friends of the Grummels. So I think that's going to do it for our Food Buff for All. With a little prep time before you log on, you can enjoy this warm, cheesy, finger-licking snack transmog from our friends to the north that might just be worth minus 50 DKP. This is a major upgrade from any dish requiring a jar of gravy. Big thanks this week to our friends Tasha Mifun of the Half-Hill Report, Ro from Rel Maintenance, Valdrada the Lightbringer, and Pat Krane for confirming the squeakiness of the cheese curds. If you get a chance, check out our food and cooking podcast, Food and Fury. This week, we're tackling a homemade classic, grilled cheese and creamy tomato soup. You can find this show, social media, and this recipe and many more at foodandfury.com. That's going to do it for us, for me, for Mike. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michael and Mike. Poutines are the perfect thing to eat while soaking up jokes with your raid group. Speaking of raid groups, what time is it?
Let's look at what has been happening in the community.
Awesome. Let's do that. Nin on Twitter pointed out that World Quest List add-on shows a Wrathy Rares if you press the T instead of WQ tab on the side panel on the world map. Really cool. A lot of those rares I heard drop mounts, drop pieces of gear. I think I got 1 or 2 pieces of gear off of those as well. Man, my RNG is really going to go down for Battle for Azeroth. And Toasty of All Things Azeroth pointed me to a video about how some World of Warcraft Alliance players took to the skies. They glided in on goblin gliders and took out the Horde. So it was really cool and really just a fun way to add to the war mode. Jose BV is remaking Warcraft 3 cutscenes with World of Warcraft models. Thank you to Tom of the Blue Recluse for showing me to these. And just a reminder that September is back. You can gift subs, and any subs that are gifted can be extended for $1. This is from @Richard on Twitch, which is the Twitter name. So I don't know what their names on Twitch is, but it's @Richard on Twitch on Twitter. This was retweeted by my friend Zortz the Goblin. Twitch will cover the difference in revenue payout for its content creators. With the changes to ads at Twitch, subs are one of the best ways without going through Twitch Turbo to turn off ads on your favorite creator channels. Just a reminder that the 2018 Arena World Championships fall season is open right now. A few of them starting on September 3rd have started to close, but definitely get in there because you can win money, you can show off your PvP skills, and have a lot of fun. And Tespa has unveiled the Battle for Azeroth campaign bundles at universities. This is a fun way to get your friends together, have fun playing World of Warcraft, and I think you get money from this as well. But yeah, it's really cool. Thank you, Tespa, for putting these on. And WoW had a community tool spotlight of all the things that people have made in the community for World of Warcraft. Things like Raider.io, Warcraft logs, a lot of really cool things. It shows the diversity and talent of our community. I know it's just September, but the cosplay exhibition registration is still open until October 15th. So if you did not make it into the top 25, you can still walk the stage and show off your great work. Rider Studio has entered, and they'll be walking the stage at BlizzCon at the cosplay exhibition. So check out Rider Studio. I've got a link to them. I found them through All Things Azeroth. I've been following their work on Facebook. And speaking of BlizzCon, the BlizzCon All Access Kickoff Show livestream, and I thought I was bad with long titles, is happening Wednesday, September 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern, which means the virtual ticket is coming this week. Hooray! If it isn't already here. So hopefully you saved that $40 from the WoW Physical Collector's Edition BattleNet refund, because you can use BattleNet balance to buy the virtual ticket. That's how I'm going to do it. The Kickstarter for the World of Warcraft Diary by John States is still underway. It is about to hit 280,000. As of this recording, it's $279,379 of a $10,000 goal. And John States, if I understand right, is going to be using this to help start their board game company. So this is really cool. And I've been enjoying all the things I've been finding from them. They had a Countdown to Classic interview, which I listened to. Amazing. And a lot of great stuff. So thank you to Josh Corbett of Countdown to Classic for having that interview. The questions you were asking were amazing and brought out a lot of really cool insights into WoW. John States designed and built half of Vanilla WoW's dungeons and raids. And there is a live chat happening the day that I'm recording. And there's an upcoming AMA, I believe, next Friday on Reddit. So you can look at Update 8 on the Kickstarter page for information on both. And Wowhead has 2 articles that are exclusive to Wowhead and not in the diary. One is The Creation of Scholomance, and the other is Making Warsong Gulch. Both are by John States, and they add on to the information that we have. I'm just looking up all the information because it's fun to get a peek behind the curtain. And the Running of the Knolls 2018 is coming back for the 9th year. It's returning on October 13th. It'll be on Scarlet Crusade US at 7 p.m. Eastern, and donations are open to raise support for the Cleveland Clinic's toy vaccine, a vaccine that can prevent triple-negative breast cancer, which is often hereditary and the most deadly form of breast cancer. So get your gnomes ready, and we're going to run and run and run for a good cause. I'm hoping to have a group like I did for the Troll Run in the Sparkspans Discord. Oh, and speaking of the Sparkspans Discord, want to join the community? Head on over to sparkspan.com where you can get all my puns. You can get my dance moves like the electric slide and the Cupid shuffle and different things. And just have a lot of fun. I've been enjoying hanging out with people there. Like Nick, who just rolled a warrior named Flexicute the Fabulous. Well, that's another FrazlCast. But before we go, I was on WoW Talk 115, Singing in the Fire. I had a great time there, and I am hoping to bring a few, if not all of them eventually, onto FrazlCast. There will not be a live show next week. Instead, I sat down with Berserker and Navox of the Unshackled Fury podcast. That will come out on the feed on Monday, September 17th. And the next live show will be Thursday, September 20th at 6:15 p.m. Pacific, 9:15 p.m. Eastern at gnome.live. Well, let's get back to battling for Azeroth. I am Frazley, and you can find the show at FrazlCast.com. Until next week, be awesome.
The value of Buxley can fluctuate greatly. Buxley here to answer your World of Warcraft questions in this edition of Ask Buxley. This question is about dinosaurs. Felpaw asks, what's the deal with all these dinosaurs? There are a lot of dinosaurs, aren't there? There are long paths you wander down. They're in the pyramid. I thought I had one following me. When I looked around, it was just leaning up against a tree, looking at its front claws like nothing was going on. And that made me a little suspicious, so I looked into it a little bit more. Turns out a lot of these dinosaurs are incognito, which, according to the dictionary, is what gnomes say when something special gets stuck in a cog they're working on. Incognito. Well, anyway, the other definition means hidden or in disguise. So, some, but not all, of the dinosaurs have jobs. Some you know about because they fly you around from place to place if you're the Horde. Some protect their community, like the Burritos. You know, those ones with the really long necks? They're lookouts in case there's an air attack. Others are musicians. Dire horns? They play background music out of their horns when things get really bleak and you're about to die. I think one zombie pays them because he thinks it's funny. And those little dinosaurs in town? They deliver food. I just had a group of them volunteer to do that for me. I paid them each 20 gold. Go pick up some food from the local restaurant. Now, it's expensive food, but it's supposed to be really great. And you know, they're supposed to be here. They were supposed to be here like a half an hour ago. Maybe, what? Hey, those guys owe me money. If you'd like to know what I'm up to every day, follow Ask Buxley on Twitter. If you'd like to catch up on the segments you might have missed, look for Ask Buxley on iTunes. Dinos have your money, friend!
Oh, Ludra the Mage here.
And I'm Ben the Mage.
Ben, you have to help me decide where to go first.
In the new zones? You mean for like the pet battles? Well, let's see. I was thinking that I was actually...
No, Ben, not pet battles. World domination. This is the battle for Azeroth, and I want it.
The pets?
No, Azeroth. Should I consolidate my power base here or form new alliances over there to strengthen my stranglehold on the throne? Or do you think just gold will open the doors? But then, how can I be sure nobody
Aludra, you do know that you don't actually get to take over Azeroth, right?
I'm head mage! I can do what I want.
While Aludra is having delusions of grandeur, make sure to check out episode 130 of Battle Pets, Battling for Azeroth, where we talk about our first impressions as well as the multitude of pets available.
Okay, so this here is the new flag for the kingdom of Aludroth. I renamed the world because it's mine, and I want it to be difficult and everybody to sound funny.
I expected it to have pink and, bunnies on it.
No, Ben. Everyone knows that bunnies aren't followers. That's why it's fire and death! Now they'll know what happens when they cross me!
But I like bunnies.
And that's how I won the war, Ben.
Welcome to the Frazley Report, a short news report by me, Frazley, the Awesome Gnome, to deliver your World of Warcraft news. Did you all hear the news? Our friend Alessander told me during the recent Twitch recording for Epic Fail Podcast that there was a new Warcraft movie coming. I know, I couldn't believe it either. So I went to the link they provided, and sure enough, the title is Blizzard may be working on Warcraft 2 as a cinematic movie. I wanted to know more, so I started talking with my sources. Well, after looking at some LinkedIn profiles, I found the profile for Darrin Howard. It's oddly similar to another director we know from World of Warcraft. So I found Darrin Howard's number, I called them up, and I found out from them that the news is going to break soon on this, and they gave me an exclusive and invited me to the interviews for the movie's press junket, which, by the way, had some delicious food. Well, here's my interview.
Good day, Mr. Sparkspan. I'm Darrin Howard, the director of the full-length Warcraft cinematic movie.
Thank you for talking with me, Mr. Howard. This is my first press junket, and thank you for giving me a lift up, and also for providing a booster seat for me for this director's chair. So why did you decide on cinematics for the sequel to the Warcraft movie?
We decided with Warcraft 2 to go full cinematic. Cheaper than building sets and such. Plus, our cinematic team has reached Pixar level of quality.
You have the same first name as Darrin Gregory, the cinematic director.
My brother is Darrin Gregory.
Oh! How has it been working with your brother?
Darrin is amazing. His cinematic prowess is top-notch. I am his older brother, so I do pick on him a lot.
Do people ever get you confused by both being named Darrin?
Absolutely. But thankfully, our brother Larry introduces us. Wherever we go, he says, I'm Larry, and this is my brother Darrin, and this is my other brother Darrin.
That doesn't make... Oh well, never mind that. How did you decide on full cinematics for the sequel?
We went for the cost, and after seeing that amazing Diva cinematic, as well as the Saurfang cinematic, we wanted to give the honor of a sequel to a team that had been kicking butt.
What is
Mr. Sparkspan, I didn't quite catch what you said.
Sorry about that. I think my mic is messing up. What is your
What is my Bologna? That's a song by Weird Al. He just got a Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
Gnome! Microphone, you are making me very frustrated.
Yes, Frazley.
Acting up.
No, Frazley.
Telling lies.
No, Frazley.
What? Oh my gnome! I fell asleep and was stuck in a meme dream based on a weird YouTube video series. Phooey, I still need to record the Frazley report. Okay. Yes, Alessandro shared an interesting story with me. Netflix may be working on a Diablo TV series. Oh, that is quite interesting. Okay, I got that story added to my docket. Even if it isn't quite Warcraft related. Okay, time to record. Here we go. Happy place? Happy place? Nomergon returned to its former glory? Okay, I better make sure at the end to say that this has been the Frazley report, and then end with my line, until next time, be awesome.
Have you ever asked yourself what the world of Azeroth looks like from the perspective of a small village in Pandaria? Did you ever wonder what a weekly news show on a Pandaren college radio station would sound like? If not, well, that's probably a good thing, actually. But the creators of the Half Hill Report sure did. So each week, your host, Tosh Mifune, that's me, brings you a short and very lighthearted view of the current goings-on in Azeroth as viewed by the only journalism major at Half Hill Agricultural College. So join us each week on the Half Hill Report as we share our small-town view of a very large world.
FrazlCast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment. Views expressed by the host and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard games and are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended.
Want more awesomeness every week? Visit weeklyawesome.com. Weekly podcasts to make your week better. Remember to smile and be awesome.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.